Today your project is a distance silhouette. You can find the instructions on page 212 in your textbook. This is an upper grade activity and focuses on the visual element of space. Here are the supplies that you will need. You will need some scissors, a pencil, some type of glue, also some white paper to do your basic drawing on, and something new that's different for this project is that you will need some translucent paper that you can see through. I've chosen to use tracing paper, but you could also use some white tissue paper that you use for wrapping your gifts if you don't have access to tracing paper. The first thing that you will do is to draw your design on a sheet of paper. And there's several ways you can do this, and we will talk about this. Since I've been watching the Olympics this week, I've chosen a snow scene with a skier. And what we were focusing on is the way an artist creates space on a flat surface. We know that this flat surface is just an illusion of space, but these are some ways that a child can learn to create space on a two-dimensional surface. I'm going to use some color construction paper for my background, and my background is going to be blue, and the objects that are far, far away, things that are farthest away, will be my clouds and my sun. Now, I've cut these out of construction paper, but I guess you could also just take your acrylic paint and paint them on. This will be my first page that I use because these items are the furthest thing back. After I do that, then I will take my transparent paper and I will put it on top. And usually what we do is just put a little bit of glue right here at the top and then attach our paper that way so we can lift it up. And my second level will be my snow. This would be closer to me than my clouds and my sun, and I've cut this out of white construction paper. And I couldn't decide. I thought, well, maybe I needed a tree with just showing the limbs, but after I looked at that for a while, I decided that I needed a kind of a green fir tree. So I've cut my tree out of construction paper, and I have got a little stump there that I'm going to put on my tree. Now the snow and the tree is my middle ground. This is my mid-level of space that I'm using. I will take another sheet of transparent paper and put it on top of this, and again I will glue at the very top so that I can raise this up. And maybe you can see this, but you can see all the objects underneath this transparent paper, and that's what gives us the name silhouette. Now the object that is closest to us will be my skier, and so I've just cut a skier out of construction paper, and I will glue him on the very top of my design. So what I've done, I have shown in ways to create space that objects that are closer are going to be clear, they're not going to be hazy, and this is called atmospheric perspective. And then as the objects get farther into the distance, they're going to get softer in color and less detail, and that's part of your atmospheric perspective in creating a sense of space. You'll also be able to talk with your students about placement. Objects that are placed low on the picture plane appear to be closer. As they get farther away, you put them up higher, like your tree is up higher than your skier. Also, the clouds are up higher. And this is called placement or position. Also, you'll notice that size plays an important part in ways to create space. Objects that are closer are going to be larger than objects that are far away. So if I was going to place another skier that's back in the distance, I would make that skier much smaller and put the skier up higher on my picture plane. So also you can use overlapping. Anytime one object overlaps another, I could even pull my skier up and overlap him a little bit on my tree. That also creates a sense of space. So this project, the Distance Silhouette, shows how to create space, which is one of your visual elements that you teach in art, showing overlapping, atmospheric perspective where it's hazy, less detail in the distance, placement, things that are closer or lower, things that are far away or placed up higher on your picture, and then also size. This is an upper grade activity that is excellent for helping students find ways to create space. Let me show you one that was done by a student, and this is also a snow scene, and their first level is the snowman with the sled and maybe a little body of water, and then they have created the middle ground, which is the snow, the tree, and they cut out the green construction paper and painted a little bit of white snow with their temper paint on that one. That's their middle ground. And then the last page is the snow line at the very back, a house with a chimney and smoke coming out, a fence, and some trees. And so that is the distance. That is the greatest distance that you have. The second middle ground will be objects that are a little bit closer, and then the things that are closer to you, or closest to you, will be on the top page. Now you can use, again, as I said, you could use construction paper, or if you just wanted to paint them on each of your pages, that would be fine. But this is an excellent upper grade activity to show distance.